So other times, the very thing that you wanted the most was the thing that you needed the least, because that's going to strengthen you more to get the thing that was better for you that you didn't see coming.
Welcome to the Networking with Michelle podcast, the show dedicated to providing you with life strategies with a little bit of entrepreneur advice. Here we believe in the Jim Rohn quote, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Hey, good people. Welcome to the Networking with Michelle show. I'm your host, Michelle Gomez, where we discuss life strategies with a bit of entrepreneurial advice. And look, this is a bonus episode. This is a special guest. You're a fan of Queen Sugar, you want to tune in. If you know someone that's a fan of Queen Sugar, you want to share this episode. Okay? That's how real it's getting right now. And I'm definitely a fan of Queen Sugar. So glad a new season is starting this week. And having a chance to talk to celebrities is always different, because I'm like, what can I ask them? I don't want to have a typical celebrity interview, right? I don't want to have a typical celebrity conversation. And I was really impressed by this brother as far as just a conversation. And I decided not to focus on the show. I am definitely a fan of the show, but I did not focus on the show. But instead, and I haven't even mentioned the name yet, but this brother has written a book called Who the Hell Do I Think I Am? A Brief and Candid Assessment of Oneself by Timon Kyle Durrett, who plays Davis West on Queen Sugar. And honestly, we really just focus on his book. You know how I am. I'm all about positivity, mindset, affirmations. And he's written a good book. And it's a book that I appreciate because this is a book I can read every month. I can sit down for an hour and read this book and feel pumped, feel reaffirmed about going into the new month, going into the new week. So I strongly encourage you to go to Amazon, pick up this book, download this book. It's a must-have because I think this is the side that we don't see from celebrity so much. You know, they tell you to believe in your dreams, and we need that, and that's great. But this brother goes deep with it, and I appreciate that. And I'm sure you're going to appreciate the conversation I have with him. I hope you enjoy. Hey, everyone. Today's special guest is Timon Kyle Durrett. You may know him as Mr. David West of Queen Sugar. He is an author, actor, all-around artist. Timon, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me, Michelle. I'm doing pretty good.
So first of all, I read your book and I was greatly impressed and satisfied just to the simple fact that I'm all about mindset, self-awareness, and of course it was the perfect time. The name of the book, Who the Hell Do I Think I Am? Can't get no more raw than that. So,
right. Yeah. It's a title that just came to me. You know, it was one Sunday morning. As it says in the book, I was just doing a self-assessment and just thinking about how I could make myself better. You know, I wasn't really where I wanted to be in life, and I know that a lot of your life is directly reflective of the choices you make, your mindset, the things that you do and think and say when you to yourself and by yourself. And I just wanted to dig in, and then I did. One thought led to another, and it went from paragraphs to a few pages to a bunch of pages. So I said, let me just kind of organize this stuff and put it in a little thing, like a little attachment or document, I should say, to remind myself. And then I looked at it and I said, well, this is, maybe I can share this. So I wrote the book. So, yeah.
Awesome. And how long was that process for you? I guess from that Sunday morning to like, hey, I have something here and it's published.
The Sunday morning was, I got to say, the bulk of it. I mean, it was just pouring out of me. Like somebody opened the floodgates, and then all of the ideas were out, but they just weren't categorized. And it took about maybe a month to just kind of really fine tune and get everything together. And then I had someone help me with the graphics and the what do you call it, the formatting and things like that. And I got it out there, researched and got some advice from friends who had self-published. And I said, well, let me just go ahead and do it. And I did it. You know, I published it, self-published it on Amazon.
Awesome. I know early on, I guess within the first couple of pages, one sentence that stood out to me, it says, I am a product of my mental environment. And we always
Hmm.
hear about I'm a product of my environment, and we think of family, school, work. But you said mental environment. Can you go ahead and break that down for us?
Well, the mental environment, meaning what you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself.
Mm.
That's, for me, that's my mental environment. My mental environment when I'm not in the world and I don't have distractions like traffic or work or things like that. Right? When I'm just by myself and I can really dig in and see what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking, what I'm saying. So, and you get people who, for example, I'm very motivated to people. Sometimes I wasn't as motivated to myself. I was a personal trainer, and I would always push people, be your best. If you're not satisfied, what are you going to do about it? And I would hear a lot of people say, "I'll never get in shape. I'm never going to have the body that I want." And I would tell them that every cell in your body is listening to what you're saying to yourself. So your mental environment spawns the physical environment, meaning everything that I'm thinking to be a product is going to be the thing that spawns what I do. What you think about mostly during the day or in your life is what you manifest. And in the world that we live in, it can be very hard and tiresome and troubling and frustrating and even angering, and depressing sometimes. But there are also parts of life where we can dig and find those little nuggets of goodness and joy and happiness and contentment and energy that we would need to push forward through all the negative stuff or the things that we perceive to be negative. And so my mental environment was a little bit toxic for a while. I was steeped in doubt and regret and self-loathing and what am I going to do? And then at one moment I had that woe was me moment. And I said, wait a minute, and so I started to change the way I think. And it's not some cure-all, but it is a thing that helped me to push through some very troubling and dark times. And then every once in a while, I go back to my book and read my own words and say, yeah, this is a reminder to myself that this came from me. So in essence, with my long answer, the mental environment is what you think about most of the day, especially about yourself.
Absolutely. And I know lots of times when everything is good, we're thanking God, we're probably giving our tithes and offerings, we're going to extra happy hours,
Mm-hmm.
we're,
Yeah.
we're just going with the groove of things. But, when we do get in that valley and, we're doubting and self-loathing, it's kind of hard to take that personal assessment. Like, how were you able to even get to that point to be like, hold on, what's going on here? Let me check myself.
Exactly. And that's basically, you just summed up what I did that early Sunday morning. And, what sometimes I have to do, because even though, a lot of people may have this perception of people television and they'll see you on the red carpets and the nice clothing and these fancy exclusive events, and they might think that, oh, they got it all together. I've never met any person that has it all together.
Yeah.
And it's a work in progress. We're all a work in progress constantly throughout our lives. There's always room for improvement, for betterment, for things to be enhanced and move in an upward and forward direction. But you first have to, as it says, I say in the book, there is one person you cannot lie to, and that is yourself. And once you start to recognize and embrace your own truth, your self, what is in your mental environment, once you can look at that, be honest with yourself about what that is, then that's going to be the thing that ignites something. And you can go back and say, you know what, I'm thinking negatively about myself and I was right. I'll never amount to anything. Or you can say, you know what, I was wrong about what I thought about myself. Look at all the things that I've accomplished. Look at where I am. I am above ground today. And I got up under my own power. Some people can't. Some people, and it's unfortunate to say this, but in a world full of junk and stuff, someone didn't wake up this morning.
Yeah.
Someone can't breathe under their own power. Someone can't eat a healthy meal or drink water. Someone is struggling. Someone right now is getting evicted from their home or their apartment. And it's unfortunate, but that's the thing that we have to understand, that the world can be a little bit challenging, and it can be a lot challenging for other people, but we have to continue to embrace what our internal truth is. And I think that can usher us into a new way of understanding ourselves, which would prompt new thinking, which prompts new speech behaviors and actions, and which will move you forward into your habits, which become your destiny. The things that they lead to the things you talk about. The things you talk about lead to the things you do, and the things you do lead to your habits. And your habits, that's your routine. Yeah. If I'm going to have a routine, I'd rather have a routine of positive, energetic thinking than negative, life debilitating thinking.
You've been acting for probably close to 20 years. And I know there's been a time when you were probably going out to auditions and you were hearing the word no. I know for myself and my listeners as entrepreneurs, and so much emphasis on sales and getting clients, and we're hearing no, like rejection after rejection. What are some of the action steps that you took to maintain a positive mindset during your process?
Well, being in this industry, you get told no more than you get told yes until you reach a certain point. But all of those no's are the things that galvanize me. I knew what I wanted. Here's the thing. When I'm told no, I said, what can I do better? And maybe some things that I was told no about weren't for me. But I also have to know that is the case. I can't think just because I want something, I'm going to at least get it right when I want it. So for me, I would just, I'd go in managing my expectations and say, I'm going to leave it all in the room, and the rest is up to the universe. The rest is up to that energy. The rest is up to the casting directors, to the client. It may be something, I'm 6'5", I'm tall, the average actor, and there have been times when I missed out on work simply because of that. And I'd say, oh man, I was perfect for this. So they'd say, oh, you were perfect for this, except, and it's those, we love you, but, oh, he's awesome, except, so you have to understand that your time is coming. Your time is coming. That's what I would tell my time is coming. My time is coming. And then it would be that one thing that I got, and I'd say, hey, I did it. And it would lead me to more positive thinking and say, I've done this, I can do more. It gets tough. But it's been closer to, my first job was in 1993. So okay. It was 1993. And that was my first time, and I've had my peaks, which have been far fewer than my valleys. But it is those valleys that make you stronger, strong enough to get to that higher peak. Every peak that I've reached has been higher than the one before that, and I know that's because I wasn't always told yes, and so a lot of times those no's can be a benefit for you. So it's for me, it's a mindset of saying, don't ever stop. Because no doesn't mean never. It just means not now.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and I was telling her how, like, this first 6 months, I feel like it's been the year of turnaround, because I speak professionally, and events that I was trying to speak at 3, 4, 5 years ago when I just started my business, I was getting no. And like this year, they're like, well, we don't want you to just speak. We want you to do 2 presentations. Or,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like, I know you applied for this conference, but can you do a video for us for XYZ? And I'm like, you know what? And what I realized is, even if I thought I was ready, whether it was 3 months ago or 3 years ago, the thing is, I kept going and I've gotten better. Right. So, yeah. I think that's just something I had to become aware of and taken in stride as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like if you take, for instance, professional sports. You're not going to have many guys come straight out of grade school or high school and go directly to the pros and flourish. Not everybody's ready. But some of those who are ready move on to the next level. And that's something that I realized. Maybe I wasn't ready for this. Maybe it's something that I wasn't ready for. And other times, the very thing that you wanted the most was the thing that you needed the least, because that's going to strengthen you more to get the thing that was better for you that you didn't see coming.
That's real.
So, sometimes those no's are the things that keep you from going in the wrong direction. We oftentimes want things because, a want sometimes can be a need at the same time. You want to book that job because you need the money, or you want to book that job because this is what I want to do, and sometimes those wants and those needs are one and the same. But like you said, it's those times when you get told no and you keep pushing, and now all those no's, you're getting more yeses from the people that told you no before, and now that you're ready, the yeses come more, and it's just a matter of pushing through that time period of no.
So I was reading your book, and you said misery not only loves company, but company more miserable than itself. So I'm going through a little something here. So this stood out to me. Whether it's acting, entrepreneurship, and social media, is there a way to manage healthy competition among your social circles?
Yeah, I look at it this way. The world is so big, and opportunities are far more abundant than we perceive them to be. If you have the mindset, if you go in with the mindset of there's too much competition, then you're manifesting competition in your mind. The way we behave is based on the way we think. I'll give you an example. People who are afraid of dogs behave differently around dogs than people who love dogs. It's the mindset. A person can be afraid of a dog, and that dog has no intention of harming them, but that person is still afraid. That behavior is going to determine how that person acts, not the dog, that person's mindset. The same thing applies when you think about competition. When I get for an audition, I say I was called in just like these other people were, and I don't have it in my mindset that I'm better than them. I know I could be different than them, but I'm here for a reason, and I'm manifesting the opportunity. So I give it my all. In my opinion, in my head, my mindset says there's no competition. There's just other people who may be just as good for this job as me, and there are so many jobs out there. You may not get one, you may not get the next one, you may not get the 20th one, but that 21st one could probably bring you more than those first 20 would have ever brought you. And I've had those experiences where I missed out on something and I said, man, I really wanted that. I would have been great at that. And then months later, there was something even better that I fit better for, that, of a fit for myself, that garnered more money. And it lasted longer. So I don't look at people as competition,
Okay. I respect that. And I guess it's not so much about, me, because I understand the power of the mindset, abundance, and affirmations, but it's the other people in the circle and trying to determine how am I going to manage this relationship, or, are they even worthy? I guess I feel like I'm sounding kind of arrogant, but trying to manage the social circle when someone has an opposite point of view than you.
Yeah, exactly. There are energies that are positive and negative. You have some people who will go into a room, give me an example, an audition, and they're looking around and they're frowning and they're, trying to see who looks like them or who might be better, and looking at their headshots and seeing if their headshots look better. I go in and I put my stuff down. I say I come in and I do my thing. But there can be at times that crab in a barrel mentality, and that comes from a mentality of lack that I mentioned in the book. When you have a mentality of lack, you're going to think there's not enough for you and everyone else. And so with that mindset, you start to compete when there's no need for competition. There's no need for it. If you have 12 people and you have 200 watermelons, everybody can eat watermelon.
Yeah.
You don't have to compete for it enough. But If you think that there won't be enough for you at this time or later on, then you're going to constantly be fighting. And that mindset sends you into a spiral, a downward spiral of lack that will have you down there. And that leads to that misery. Like you said, misery loves company more miserable than itself. When you can want to be around somebody that's going to uplift you, or if you have a mindset that you need to compete and be better, then you want to be around someone who is more down than you to make you feel better or more up. And it's unfortunate that kind of energy exists in pretty much every aspect of the social realm of life. Whether you, like you said, all the different happy hours when you're feeling good and happy. When you're feeling good and happy, you go to happy hour because you're happy. And some people go to happy hour to on their sorrows at happy hour.
Yeah.
So it's a multitude of mindsets, but I decided to adopt the mindset of I'm going to keep going. I'm going to speak positively to and for and about myself. And my self-worth is determined by me. And therefore, if I know that I'm capable and I'm worthy of these different jobs, just because I don't get it doesn't mean that I will enough. It's just that it may be something as simple as, oh, this guy looks better than this girl for this commercial, or we wanted someone like Timon, but we really like this other guy's hair for what we're advertising. It's so many different things. So those no's that you get, they're not always necessarily no because you're not good enough. If someone said, hey, we're looking for the role of a 57-year-old Asian man, and I embrace the material and I love the material, but I am not a 57-year-old Asian man. So guess what? There's going to be someone else who fits that slot.
Yeah.
But when Oprah Winfrey and Ava DuVernay said, we need a tall man who looks like he could have been an athlete, who, and all these other specifics. And it was very specific. And guess who fit that bill?
You got it.
Now, I didn't see that coming. They knew who I was before I knew them. And that's something that you have to understand. When it's time for your thing, whatever that is to come, it's going to come, but when you're ready for it. When you're ready for it. You didn't start driving when you were in kindergarten. You weren't ready. You weren't big enough. You weren't strong enough. You couldn't reach the pedals. You couldn't look over the steering wheel. But when you got older, more wise and stronger and able to follow more intricate direction, that's when you're ready. And so then you start driving. Some people drive at different ages, but I'm just giving a crude example of how things work. I know there were times, Michelle, that I wanted something, and throughout the maturation period of my life, I realized had I gotten that thing that I wanted back then, I would have messed it up. I would have squandered it. I would be in a far worse position than I am now. So again, sometimes that no is the thing that keeps you on track of where you need to be.
What has been the biggest lesson you've learned about yourself since filming Queen Sugar?
More capable of digging in and focusing more. Having worked around so many passionate and talented people, it makes you step the game up. And me, I'm a watcher. I like to watch things and analyze and things like that. And I just look at how people that I admire do things. And I said, they can do it. I can do it. So it was a discovery of something that if you ever have something and you realize it's more valuable than you thought.
Yeah.
It could be a coin that you had in your coin collection, or it can be a gift from your grandmother or whatever. Me, I have a very good memory for things that I want to remember. I can imitate things, but I have a way of recollecting things that I can, convey onto camera. I didn't know what that thing was until I was put in a position to have to use it. Mm. And I realized that I was ready. I just didn't know what I had. So one of my greatest lessons is that I have been able to really hone in and understand the work and give back based on my level of analysis and perception and observation. Because I've always been like this watcher. I like to watch things and see how things work, how they happen, how they move, how they And that's something that adds to, like I say, not trying to sound boastful or anything, but that's one of the things that lends to my conveying a real message to some of the, many of the viewers that watch the show. And I appreciate that I can do something that I love to do, and I've learned to do it better, and have someone express to me appreciation for what I love to do, which makes me love to give it back. So that's one of the things that I found to be very beneficial, but it's also a gift that a little treasure that I found within myself. I'm like, hey, I can really focus and dig in here, because it's something that I can sink my teeth into.
Absolutely. What can we expect this season from Queen Sugar?
Oh man. Get your popcorn and get your tissues, man. It's I'm not only on the show, I'm a fan of the show. I watch it. Yeah. And I don't watch what I do. I don't watch what everyone else is doing. I try not to as much as possible. If I do watch it on the screens in Video Village, and I like to just not hear it, because I like to see the story unfold just like everybody else. A lot of people ask, what's going to happen? I was like, I only know a few things, and they think I'm telling, I'm not telling the truth. I'm like, really, I don't know. And I prefer not to know, because these directors and the writers and the actors and just everybody, from all the way from Oprah all the way to the people who bring me my coffee. Everybody is just passionate about what they do, and that carries over onto screen. And I'm telling you, there's some stuff with every character. There's some stuff. People gonna be like, wait a second. So get ready. It's gonna be a wild ride this season, I think. Again, I won't say anything about any specifics, but man, I was even surprised by some of the things that I read when I got the script. So I said, "Oh, okay, we're doing that to everybody. All right, good, let's go." Because if you think about it, Michelle, think about the transition that women in this industry are making. A lot of people say, "Oh man, Oprah and Ava, they took a chance." Well, no, they didn't. They took a turn. They said, "No, we're not going to go that way. We're going to go this way," and watch what we do. So I'm very, very, very blessed and appreciative and honored and happy that I've been a part of this thing called Queen Sugar, because it literally, on and off camera, has changed my life.
I think one of the things that I love about the show so much is that every character is flawed, but then everyone is supportive of each other, right? And I feel like that's our individual families. That's my family, that's your family. But lots of times when it's on screen, it's perfection, right? Or it's just minor issues solved in 30 minutes. And I'm like, no, shit's fucked up.
Yeah,
we gonna work through it.
Yeah. It embraces what real life is, and that's why, even especially with men and women old enough to be my parents, your parents, they come, and the main theme or mainstay from when I talk to the different fans and viewers of the show who support our work, they say that they appreciate. It's not just funny, it's not just dark. They appreciate what Queen Sugar gives to them, because it shows that, so many people can identify with many of the characters. We are all flawed, and we have these moments where we fall down. Sometimes we get up late, and sometimes there's somebody right there to pick us up. Life is this mishmash of imperfect perfection that I think Queen Sugar has captured the essence of, in a very artistic and just, it's artistic, but it's gritty, it's fun, it's sad, it's hard, it's easy. Yeah. And that's what life is. There is no one word that can describe life. And so there's not one word that I can describe Queen Sugar with other than life. You get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just give me a few more minutes before we wrap up. We're halfway through the year. Anything else that we should be expecting from you in 2018?
Well, Queen Sugar now, I'm in one of those periods where once you get to a certain level or certain level of recognition for your work, you start to get in other rooms with other people that you are used to seeing on TV all the time. So now it's not competition, but it's like, okay, Now I'm in the room with the big boys. What do I do? So I have to step my game up. But what you can look for is, like I said, with Queen Sugar, just more of what Davis, more of who Dave West is. And with me, I guess I'll keep you posted. I have a few things that may be in the works, but there's nothing definite. And with the what do you call it? The confidentiality agreements and things like that. Can't really talk about it. But what I hope to get is something action packed about zombies. I love zombie stuff. I don't know why I'm so infatuated with that stuff, Michelle.
Well, I know you were talking about a sci-fi book, but you put it on hold because you started filming. So I didn't know if you were.
Yeah, well, I am working on that. I've got working on that, and it's I'm done with the story. I wrote it as a screenplay at first, and then I decided to look and say, okay, I'm very descriptive when I write, and in a screenplay, especially your first one, it can't be 145 pages if you're not an established screenwriter. So I said I have to make some changes. And, I decided, let me write a book. And I'm glad that I did, because my imagination is so very active that I can't turn it off. So I said, let me just open up the floodgates and pour all of these ideas and all this craziness in my head onto these pages. And it's coming along. I'm more than halfway done. And I've just gotten back to have a little bit more time on my hands that I can, put toward that. And so now it's just coming along really, really quickly. So I look to be done with that before the end of the year. And
we need that diversity within our culture when it comes to that. All right. So last two things. How can people get in contact with you? And what is one action item that we can implement in our life today?
They can reach me on social media, Instagram at Timon Kyle Durrett, and I think my Twitter, because sometimes I just go on it, but I don't look at what I call myself. Instagram is Timon Kyle Durrett, and my Twitter is also at Timon Kyle Durrett. I'm pretty much on those only. I don't really do Facebook that much, but they can find me there. And as far as action, I will say this. What you think is what you say. What you say is what you do. What you do is how you live. So every morning, think that thing that wakes you up in the morning that you can't stop thinking about, and that thing that you can't stop thinking about before you go to bed. That is your vocation, meaning your calling. Vocal vocation, the thing that is calling you to do it. And if that is your calling, go after it and never, ever, ever, ever stop. You always have enough in your tank. Don't ever stop. And that's the action that I embrace, and that I implore people to embrace as well. Know that whatever your dream is, that you can achieve it.
I love it. I love it. Mr. Timon, once again, thank you for your time. I love your mind, just the motivation you have provided for us. And I look forward to following your success. I really do. I really do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you having me. A lot of people, like I said, in this world where things can seem a little dark, we all need a little inspiration, even myself. So just having the opportunity to speak to you and have my voice and your voice reach out to other people who may need these words is a blessing to me. So it's my pleasure to talk to you. And if we can do it again, let's do it again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.